Welcome to the third chair. We have Peter here,
Yo.
and hopefully I'm going to pronounce this right. Muji Rieger?
Muji Rieger, yeah.
Muji Rieger. Well, I was only wrong on both names.
Call me whatever you want.
Still learning. Yeah.
Maybe by the end of the second episode, I will be close. So, you're an artist, and you painted these beautiful works here behind us.
I did.
As our background. So, are you able to practice art full time, or do you have to do something else to make money?
I do it full time, and I have to make money doing some other stuff. I do contracting on the side too. I say on the side, but it's my main source of income.
Oh, well.
So, what kind of contracting? Construction, or?
Yeah, military contracting on construction, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you go out to Fort Carson, or?
Yeah.
Cool.
No. I used to be an auditor in the Army. I probably saw some of your buildings going up there.
Yeah.
If you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with time to create? I mean, doing this construction and...
I work from 4 to midnight, and then I come here and I work from midnight to 3, you know what I mean? Then I sleep all day.
Oh, okay.
In the
That's good to know. If
process,
people are trying to place an order with you. That's
Well, I don't
good to
sleep
know.
all day. I don't sleep very much, 6 hours maybe a night. So then I have the day free. I run a nonprofit too, so
Oh, wow.
the Knob Hill Urban Arts District. So I usually have to do nonprofit stuff, like going to the library and looking up grants to apply for.
Oh, for sure. And that's sometimes a tedious process.
It is.
Just no way around that.
I feel your construction work, what do you do exactly with construction?
It's complicated controls, monitoring, maintenance, things like that. It's not anything like big and fancy. I don't build anything.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if it helped with your work, but it doesn't sound like you're painting, but it doesn't.
Oh, no, it's completely separate, entirely different life. They don't even know anything about me. I stay on the low. I don't say anything. Nobody knows me.
There's a lot of wisdom to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wisdom to that. But it's not like a source of inspiration. You come and
Not in
you
any sort of way.
You know, you leave the local base and you go, aha! I'm gonna paint X, Y, or
I
Z.
never think about it unless I'm there. So
Work's done.
Work's done. Yeah. Now to get on to the things you really enjoy.
this is the work. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the side gig.
Do you do art at a set time of day? Is it
I try
like-
to do it at night because people aren't calling me. I don't have to worry about picking the kid up or going anywhere or doing anything. And nobody's out, so it's quiet. That's usually when I do my best work.
So do you do a lot of your work on weekends also, or because
Every day of the week. Yeah, there's usually not a day I'm not here painting.
is it also on weekends you do it at
Yeah,
12 to 3
yeah,
a.m.?
7 days a week.
Wow.
I need it. It's not just like a hobby or like a source of income. If you like most people who want to be an artist have already resigned to the fact that they're not going to, you know what I mean, be able to maintain creative control and be a working artist. I chose to do whatever I want. That's been my exchange. And that's a bad decision, and I will live with the consequences.
Did you say it was a bad decision?
Are you
Well,
enjoying it?
I mean, it's like instead of going to college, I joined a Sufi order. I would say, are they bad decisions? No. In a way, I regret, like, you know, I don't got a college degree because I joined a Sufi order, but I got ijaza in 4 fonts of Arabic. So that's about as valuable as any degree, I guess.
And you can always go back to college if you wanted to.
And I can always go back to school, yeah, but like instead of, you know, I mean, there's those are the if you look back in time, what would I change? But when I think about it, I wouldn't change anything.
Well, it's really
You
interesting.
know, I made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but it turned out pretty good, all of it, so.
Usually it does until it doesn't, but
Yeah. Yeah,
you never know which one you're gonna get.
But there's certain, the rock group Rush, they were very committed. We're making music our way and we just don't care. And eventually people recognized their genius and the money came, but it took a few albums.
I found that it's successful. I'm much more happy. I couldn't be doing. When people ask me to do commissions, I usually say no.
Really?
Yeah, I'm usually like, nah. I push them off to one of my friends.
Do they see like?
Unless their vision matches mine.
Oh.
Like if I'm like, what do you want to do? And they're like, I want to do like some flowers and a dog. And I'm like this, nope.
Do they see one of your paintings and say, well, I like something like that, or?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. Usually, I have my work up at Brother Luck, 4 by Brother Luck, and all other places, 503 West sometimes, different restaurants and galleries. So people contact me through there usually.
Yeah, boy, I was just, so when you pass a client on to one of your friends, do you tell him, hey, just like remember me when he pays?
It's implied, but you can't expect anything from anybody.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you have a group of artists you hang around with or work together or?
Yeah, I mean,
support each other,
you know what I mean? Like as much as anybody hangs out with their friends and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I hang out with artists, Molly McClure, Phil Lear, Robin Schneider, all sorts of people.
And then how do you support each other? I guess you support them by giving them clients or?
Yeah, and I also, with the nonprofit, I try to get mural artist jobs and all sorts of artists, live painting and stuff like that. So I just try to hook it up.
Do you have times like you see one of your artist friends and they've done some work and you're wondering, like, how did you do that? What technique was that? How did you layer it or make it look like that where you're sharing sort of trade secrets?
Oh yeah, we all give, like most of the artists in town give classes. So the top artists, like all the big, like the best people, Chris Alvarez and Phil Lear. So you can go there and learn the secrets. I'm the only one who keeps my secrets.
You're not teaching anybody, right?
I don't feel like it's enough. I got a lot on my plate, so.
So do you have a lot of secrets of what you do, or do you play around?
I do. One of my signatures is the cracks. I put a lot of cracks in my art. There's little cracks right here.
Wow.
All that. I have worked a lot to reverse engineer. The paint companies want to make it not crack. So I read some of the studies, and I just like reverse engineering what to do, by using layers, and then got it to crack the way I want to.
So you play with it until it cracks.
Played with it until it cracks, yeah.
Wow. That's,
And left it out, just whatever, like put it out in the rain or snow.
yeah, you were telling us the pre-interview, you left the painting out in the snow.
I painted a chameleon, and it started to snow, and then at the time I had a studio in the garage. So I just put it out to see what would happen. So I just laid it out, it was all wet. I just laid it flat and just waited. And then came out the next morning and brushed off the snow. And there was ice crystals that had formed in the paint, like scales, spreading up through the chameleon scales. Yeah, they stayed there, and so
Wow.
yeah, and so it's one of a kind. AI couldn't even recreate it.
Wow, that is really neat. See, when we get back, I'm gonna ask you what the biggest barrier to being an artist is, so you can think about that during the break. And we'll be right back after this
Break.
So we have back to the third chair. We have Muji with us, and Peter is still here.
Yo,
You know, Peter sometimes thinks he's a pirate.
fell asleep during one episode.
So, what do you think the biggest barrier to being an artist is?
Not enough people need art like they did, in 1500. You know what I mean?
But you had to be very rich to have art in the 1500s.
You did, but you also couldn't take a picture or download it
Oh, that's
or
true.
buy a print. You know what I mean? Like that's the way.
Or look at it on your phone.
That's the way Teddy Roosevelt saw. You know what I mean? Like they're not Teddy Roosevelt, but that's the way that you would preserve someone's likeness. So it was pretty valuable. And over time, the world has become saturated with art. Everybody's an artist. Nobody won't. Yeah, everybody's an artist. So that's just the way it is, man.
My theory is there's not enough wall space.
Yeah.
Really, we've seen a
There's so
lot
much
we
art.
liked.
It's just oversaturation. That's the only. That's the.
We've seen a lot we liked, and it was like, where would we put it?
The apocalypse would be really good for an artist because it's back to like I'm the only one who can do that. You know what I mean?
I can
So
draw
that's the
the-
only thing we have to look forward to is the apocalypse.
I'm the only one that can draw that mutant ant. Yeah.
Because some of your paintings are pretty big. Is it a challenge to sell some of those because people don't have wall space that big, or have you found?
No, people usually have big wall space that they can't find art for.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so.
Oh, so this works out good then.
So usually
Oh.
big
So my
stuff
whole
sells.
theory there is wrong.
Yeah, they just buy 30 little ones and put them all beside each other.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes people do that, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Wow. I was just looking at, you got a couple here with, is that gold leaf there too?
That is, yeah.
That is.
Do you use real gold?
Yeah,
So gold leaf is real gold.
it is.
And so it's like, do you need like,
Sometimes we had one artist on the show.
had some-
Oh, they have fake stuff.
They have some fake stuff, yeah.
Sometimes the fake stuff's good though. Actually, if you notice in this one, there's a little bit of color difference. It's because I made the shapes inside of it with fake stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, so if you get that, if you get that different shine, you can tell the lower layer is real gold leaf.
So-
The upper layers.
is the gold leaf, does it have enough gold that you'd worry about someone breaking in to steal your gold leaf roll or however it comes?
No tweaker would be able to extract that gold out of there. And if they did,
Yeah.
it's not even enough to hold in your hand when these sheets are like feathers.
They're like feathers.
You can't even touch them. Like if you touch it with your hands, it grips.
Oh,
So
wow.
you got to use gloves and like a brush. Like I use a little brush that I get static electricity on, just kind of try to. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not.
How do you decide like when you want to use like gold leaf in a, obviously that's sort of mixed media there if you're having gold leaf with oil.
I feel it in my body.
You feel it, you go.
This needs some gold leaf, and then I'm like, wait, that stuff's expensive.
Maybe we'll run without the gold
Maybe
leaf for a little while.
we're gonna go with blue.
Oh, that is so clever. Yeah, boy, that's a stunning one as well. And all of these that we have up right now are all yours.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic work.
There's a throwback to the Arabic calligraphy in the very, very back.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet. So, you were telling me about in pre-production when you were with, is it the Sifi or the
Sufi.
Sufi? The Sufi.
Sufi, yeah.
A cross between Sifi and surfer. Sufi. Yeah, tell us about that. That's a fascinating story. How did you end up? Who are they? And what was that journey like?
I became Muslim when I was 16. The people who taught me Islam belonged to a group called Muslims of the Americas, and we just learned Islam. You know what I mean? We were kids. We just went and learned Islam. As we learned more, they they were like, do you want to introduce you to Tasawwuf, which is, so it's a Sufism is the spiritual side of Islam. It's where, you know what I mean, it's a spiritual science, science of the spirit, of the soul. They used to teach it at Al-Azhar. It's called a tariqah. There's lots of different branches. They all come from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I was a part of the Qadri branch, which comes through Abdul Qadir Jilani.
So did you have the equivalent of a spiritual mentor or guide or
Yes.
head
Murshid.
head sheikh?
Murshid Kamil, yeah, Sheikh, yeah.
Yeah, and how did you find him?
He was there was the group that I came up with.
So you just kind of
And he came over from Pakistan and his initial goal was to teach the nation of Islam. This is back in the 70s. Teach the nation of Islam about real Islam, and instead he found a different group called the Darul Islam movement, and he taught them. And a lot of them were ex-Black Panthers and you know, vets and stuff like that, and ex-NO Nation of Islam, and those were the dudes that brought me up. So I kind of got brought up by like Black Panthers and stuff.
Wow.
One of the dudes who taught me karate, he was a bodyguard for Malcolm X.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Wow, I bet there was some interesting stories with that.
Yeah, the dude's been shot. He's dead.
Yeah, boy.
That dude was great. Mohammed Tahir. Shout out.
And so you learned the basic tenets?
Of course, yeah.
of the
Learned the
time?
basic tenets. By the time I was 19, I was leading the prayers, and I had memorized the most Quran. So I was the one who led the prayers and stuff like that. And I decided you don't have to join a Sufi order. You can just be a regular Joe. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But I wanted to like become Super Saiyan Muslim. So I joined the Sufi order. I took bay'ah, or I gave bay'ah to my sheikh, and was given a litany, given a prescription, different things called dhikr, like, which is remembrance of Allah. And mine was Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad Nabi Ummihi wa ahlihi wa sahbihi barak wa salam, which I had to say 100,000 times a day.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
So you walk and you talk, and this brings you to a place called Fana fi Allah, which is annihilation to Allah, where there's no separation between you and Allah. Everything you do is in the name of Allah, and everything you do, you know what I mean. It's basically you're Super Saiyan Muslim.
Did you have to learn to read Arabic?
Yeah. So yeah, I learned how to read Arabic. I learned how part of my prescription was to do Arabic calligraphy. To like, in fact, I did 2 big pieces for my sheikh of the 99 names of Allah and the 99 names of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's and with gold leaf too.
Oh, wow.
And that's over in Pakistan now at the Neon Mir Shrine.
So you flew to Pakistan?
I didn't fly there. No, they got shipped out.
Yeah, sure.
They said.
Did you have to learn any of the Pakistani languages?
No, but it was part of the kind of part of it, like G and Acha. These are 2 words that people would use all the time, but it's not. Wasn't like it was obligatory.
So you didn't have to learn Urdu or
That was the
Pashtun or any of those. Wow. And were there times where you had to endure, let's say, homes or places while you were studying that had the minimum comforts of home?
We lived on rural compounds. Yeah, there were places that didn't have any heat or electricity. 3 hours away from a city. We had a mosque and a school and the whole little village built. One of them's got a post office. Yeah, no, Baladullah, California, has the post office. So.
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to find out more about the compound and some of your experiences when we come right back. Real people people, real stories, real life. We're looking for guests. We're looking for you here on the third chair. I'm Peter, that's Doug, and how many different ways can we have guests?
Oh, at least 3. We could have them here in the studio in Colorado Springs. We've had guests all the way from LA on Zoom, and we have gone on location, and we got our 3rd one already in the planning phase.
Awesome. Send us an email and we'll get you on the show. Welcome back to the third chair. Peter and Doug are here with Muji Rieger. Thanks for being with us. We're filming in your wonderful studio with this beautiful art. And when we left off, we talked about a time that you were living rural. You used the word compound to sort of give us a feeling of what it's like. It was like a village, right?
More of a village.
It was more like a village. It was more like a village, and there wasn't a lot of luxuries of home there, I understand.
No, I mean part of the Sufi path is to destroy your nafs, your inner carnal desires. You know what I mean? Through fasting, through rejection of the material world.
Okay, so there's several sort of
typical monks.
Monk stuff. Yeah,
Basically
there's
monk stuff.
a Christian equivalent and
There's
a
every
Buddhist
religious got 'em.
equivalent. Yeah, sure.
Everybody's got them.
Sure, for sure. And so you didn't probably have a lot of TV to watch, or
TV was forbidden.
it was forbidden. What about books? Were some for entertainment? I mean,
Besides the
can you
Quran and
yeah, well, obviously, the Quran, but
yeah.
I mean, could you read a Robin Cook novel, or
Yeah, you can.
Jaws, or
that was
whatever?
that was acceptable. Yeah, that
That was acceptable.
was halal.
Now you were a young man.
Mm.
You were like, I don't know, 19, 20, 21, somewhere in there?
16 to 25.
16,
I
25.
was.
So were there girls at the compound? And
There were, and I got married, an arranged marriage.
you had an arranged marriage?
I mean, yeah, essentially, yeah, we had what's
Did
called
you know
a
your
wedding.
bride before you got married?
I mean, we talked on the phone and we spoke, and that was it. I had never seen her uncovered until the wedding night.
Was she from another city or another country? Or?
Nope, she was American.
She was American. Wow. Let me say it again backwards. Wow. And was this a common practice, or?
Yeah, that's the jam, and it's not unusual. This is just Muslim culture in America. It's all over. To varying degrees of piety, you know what I mean, and adherence. But if you want to get married and a Muslim, I'm gonna have if I don't have a father or a brother, then I would have like what's called a wali, or like someone who's like my representative, and they go search. You know what I mean? It's just like in
It's common in a lot of cultures. I mean, India does that a lot as well.
Yeah. Now sometimes most of the time the kids buck the tradition, and they're like, no, I'm gonna go do it the American way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's still alive and it still happens.
Sure.
There's TV shows. There's a TV show I recommend on Hulu called Rami.
Rami.
Fantastic.
Rami.
Perfectly describes the Muslim experience in America.
Wow. That is a fantastic.
And he even joins a Sufi group.
No way. Well, we're going to have to check that out to understand everything you've gone through a little more. And was there special diet restrictions?
There is, in Islam, it's just eat halal meat. It's best to keep, you know what I mean? As a Sufi, you try to adhere to the most strictest of the laws. You're like the Ned Flanders, you know what I mean? You eat kosher just to be safe.
Right. But did that verge say, I have friends that are Muslims that eating halal, they still eat meat and stuff. Was there more emphasis on like trying to be a vegetarian or?
You could get a prescription, like the sheikh would give out would sometimes give somebody and be like, you're a vegetarian now. And
would he?
Yeah, and then there are certain paths to higher levels of enlightenment and whatnot.
So that was to help the person
You had
get
to
more
get
enlightened?
I mean, possibly, yeah.
Oh man. I can't imagine giving up my
If they failed, it's
beef
their fault.
kebabs for a higher path. And so while you were there, was any of the training related to cooking Arabic food or or other culture food or?
No, it was dedicated to study, becoming, getting ijaza in, like I got Surat al-Baqarah, which is like the biggest chapter of the Quran, or Imam Muwatta, like you had to memorize books, you had to write everything down, and then you got ijaza from a sheikh who got it from a sheikh, who got it from someone, and all the way back to the Prophet Muhammad.
So when you're doing this, what was the goal? Be more enlightened yourself, or?
Yeah, man, heaven. Sure, being in heaven, turn it into a falcon.
Turning into a falcon.
It was a cult, so there was a lot of strange beliefs that Muslims are like, what are you talking about? But, I mean, Sufis are crazy, man. Some of them, super adherent, the really good ones, super adherent on the path. They're not crazy, they don't do weird stuff, nobody's floating. And then there's people who float. And I was with the people who float.
Oh, wow, and you're saying float metaphorically?
No, like stand on a stick that's not like you see on in Times Square.
Oh, wow.
This is over in India. Now my sheikh never did that, but
Yeah,
that was the genre.
Did you ever feel like there was, from what you saw looking around, that there was ever a double standard of any kind? Yeah.
Well, I mean, women can't. It takes two women to equal one man in a court of law. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Having to cover, that's stupid. There's a lot of things that are stupid.
I was thinking more about with the leaders. Like, for instance, it's well known that Muslim leaders in Saudi Arabia live one way, but when they want to party, break all the rules, they flip on over to Morocco and break all the rules that they're not allowed to break in Saudi Arabia, and then go back home. Did you ever see that amongst your leaders?
Well, yeah, like they're all people. So there's scandals all the time, and there's people who abuse their power.
That happened in Colorado Springs.
What?
General Palmer founded this, and it was supposed to be a highly religious, no smoking, no gun, but there are underground tunnels that went to Manitou Springs where they had everything.
Yeah.
Prostitution, gambling, and all, drinking, and all that.
Yeah.
So they would sneak down into tunnels, these guys. But when you're in the Springs, you're supposed to be angel person.
Yeah.
Well, and certainly I don't want it to sound like I'm picking on Muslims or anything. That kind of hypocrisy amongst leaders and organizations everywhere.
It pretty much exists everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's all a Ponzi scheme, basically.
So speaking of
there was a benign cult. There was no extremism. There was no violence. There was just a strict adherence to the sheikh. And
what about finances? Were you? I know in our pre-production meeting you talked about selling art in different cities.
Yeah.
Was that part of the package that you were expected to fundraise a bit?
No, that was just fundraise for my own living.
Totally into me.
Yeah, that was just for me. It's like tithing. They asked for 10%. No one ever paid it though. I know that because I was responsible for collecting the 10%. So
10% is just, when I think about it, it is a lot.
Well, even the IRS doesn't believe a lot of church people pay 10%. As a matter of fact, that'll get you flagged for an audit if you actually give 10% of your income. Yeah, because it's so much over the national average of giving that they want receipts. Yeah. Wow. And what was how are we doing here? Are we due for a break? Yeah. When we come back,
we're going to look at his art.
We're going to look at his art, and we'll have him comment on special techniques, special messages, and the like when we come right back. Welcome back to the third chair. I'm Peter, that's still Doug, and we are here with Muji Rieger at his beautiful studio in downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado, United States, North America, and we're
Western Hemisphere.
Western Hemisphere.
We want to keep going.
Want to keep going, and we're gonna show some of his artwork. Our producer will put it up on the screen, and I'm gonna ask Muji some questions about the art pieces, and I've picked a random sampling to talk about. He's going to talk about either any special techniques he's used, or if it has special meaning for him, or if he's sharing a special message, just whatever you feel like sharing.
Cool.
This first one I love, this picture of King Rusa the First. King Rusa the First, tell us about that.
For King Rusa the First, he was the king of Urartu, this is during the time of the Assyrians. Urartu has just recently been discovered, and it's basically ancient Armenia. They were kicking the Syrians' ass there for a little bit, and they had a whole different set of gods. And if they would have won and beaten the Syrians, we would have a whole different set of gods.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? This was part of the Gods and Goddesses series, and he was beaten though. The Assyrians took him down, and they burned all the temples, and they replaced them with the goddess Inanna, which later evolved into Aphrodite and Isis, and then sometimes the Virgin Mary. You know what I mean? So. It's all a big chain all the way back.
Sure. Is that oil?
It is oil on canvas. That's the technique, was that just regular painting. It's nothing interesting about that technique.
One of the things I noticed, first of all, like his sword is like a really cool sword. That's a big.
And if you notice, there's blood on the end, and it's sticking through him. Because he actually, after he got defeated by Sargon, he killed himself. Because his whole city and army was burning. Everything. The whole capital, it all was crumbling. So he ended up killing himself.
And I've also noticed in terms of, in pre-production, we were talking about how one of your loves is like drawing partially naked people, painting partially naked people. I thought that was a very sort of manly man that you painted there. Muscular warrior. I thought you're doing a good job of capturing sort of the essence of sort of the traditional warrior stereotype.
That was kind of interesting in that he's typical warrior stuff, and his body is strong and but you can see how anguished he is in that painting, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
There's a
more than a
feeling.
sword, it's like, there's no hope.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure like being run through with your own sword wouldn't feel good. That's my working theory. Oh, the apathy chaos.
Apathy of chaos.
The apathy of chaos.
So this image is it's not a god, it's a titan in Greek mythology called Chaos. Chaos created the universe. He will also be the destroyer of the universe. I incorporated this mycelial background into it because the universe, one of the laws of physics is the law of entropy, and that's chaos. It's everything will eventually shatter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Progressive disorder.
But that's the nature of the universe. So this image is what I think of as God, the golden ratio, the fractal mathematics that forces everything from the size from your blood vessels to the galactic tendrils into the same shape. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that is the only thing you can't disobey. Mm-hmm. So this is to me this is the essence of God.
All right. And this one's also oil on canvas.
This is oil on canvas and gold leaf.
And gold leaf. So mixed media.
So there's a lot of gold in that. Was that real gold leaf?
Yes, and there's gold leaf in all of the gods and goddesses because they're typically
because
the halo effect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in all of that series, which you can see at 4 by Brother Luck right now.
And so, like, do the more junior people get like silver leaf?
No, I have some silver leaf, but I haven't used it.
I don't even know if there's a thing called
There
silver
is, I
leaf.
have
Is
it.
there really?
I have an artist who used silver leaf.
Yeah,
we haven't really heard of
I
it.
gilded a frame with silver leaf,
Oh my goodness, I'm afraid to
but I
ask.
haven't put anything in the frame.
Is there like a bronze leaf?
Yeah, as long as copper.
Gold, silver,
All the
bronze?
metals or most of the metals.
Most of the metals, yeah.
Oh wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. This next one is a beautiful tiger that looks like it would be ready to eat you at any moment.
This is a lioness, actually.
Oh, it's a lioness.
Yeah.
All right.
It's and do you like lions?
I do.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the depth of that, guys.
I like it. Well, I've noticed on your website sometimes you talk about having animals in like 3/4 pose.
This is 3/4 pose.
Okay, as opposed to like straight on. Would that be considered full pose or?
What is straight on called?
What's that?
I can't remember what straight on is called.
Straight on.
Straight on. Straight up. Yeah.
I can't remember the official name, but yeah, profile 3/4.
I noticed on your website, we'll give that information out later, you had a nice elephant oil that was also 3/4 pose.
Yes, there's a series of both the Gods and Goddesses series is up at 4 by Brother Luck, and the animals. That elephant is currently up there too.
Now you said that it's at Better Luck?
4, the restaurant is called 4 by Brother Luck. It's on Tejon and Boulder.
For my Brother
No,
Luck.
4 by Brother Luck.
For by Brother
So
Luck.
Brother Luck is a local restaurateur. He's
Okay.
a former top chef, like winning. I beat Bobby Flay,
Oh wow.
and he's a local celebrity chef. He runs the Lucky. He had the Lucky Dumpling and 4.
Oh,
Those
wow.
are his 2
Sweet.
restaurants. Yeah.
Have you eaten there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live paint there on First Fridays when I got a painting ready to live paint.
Well, and when you're doing live painting, do you get, do you try and finish it, or is the idea when you're there, you just sort of do whatever the spirit leads and
If
see
it's,
what you've done?
it depends. Sometimes I'm almost done with it and I finish it up there. Sometimes I just start it and don't finish it and take it home.
Yeah, there was a time in church services where this was really popular, where they'd have artists do a live painting or chalk. That'd be during the sermon. I guess if people didn't like the sermon, they would watch the artist. Oh, it was a big thing all over the country.
So that's people hear the sermon, maybe?
Yeah, we even did it at ISC, and where someone would do a painting over the course of an hour or two. Yeah, so there's certainly, it's caught on some places. Here's another really interesting one, just because the man has horns like a sheep. Tell us about this one, and again, I love the gold leaf in the background.
This is Pan's Dilemma. Pan is a Greek god, the god of mischief. That's where we get pandemonium from. He jumps around on a flute and's got little goat legs. This is called Pan's Dilemma because he's really horny. He likes chicks, but nobody likes Pan.
Nobody likes Pan.
Nobody likes Pan except for the nymph called Echo, the nymph of the woods. But the nymph Echo, she had her voice removed and she can only echo what you say, what other people say.
Oh wow.
So she can't tell Pan that she loves him when he hops around through the forest. She can't tell him that I love you. I'm the only one who loves you. So it's pretty tragic. And that's where we get the term horny from too.
Oh really?
It's from those horns.
Oh wow, I can honestly say I didn't know that, and we will talk about other equally interesting things when we come right back. Hi, I'm Peter from Pikes Peak Recovery Coaching, and as you know, I do help people with drug and alcohol recovery issues. I love to help people get better, but I also offer a variety of other services, including regular life coaching services. I've helped several people write and finish a book. I've helped a doctor that was in medical school graduate and then get into a residency. And I also actually have quite a background in mathematics, and I do some math tutoring for the GED as well as the ASVAB for those that are thinking about a career in the military. So my contact information is on the screen. Please send me an email or a text, and we can talk about some of these services and how I can help. That's Peter Grigg at Pikes Peak Recovery Coaching. Welcome back to the third chair. I'm still Peter. There's Doug and Muji Rieger. And we're here at his beautiful studio with absolutely gorgeous art on the wall. And we just finished showing a few of his works. And so now I'm going to ask you, I'm curious about this. I've always wanted to know, do you set goals in the traditional sense as an artist?
Yeah, I don't think you could really maintain a responsible lifestyle without some sort of goal. When I approach every painting, I have an end goal in mind. It might change over time, but it's basically, the end. Also, I'm trying to get repped by galleries. Not just doing shows at local galleries, but real galleries that buy your art and sell it for a profit. So like Art Basel and things like that. So basically submitting art to different galleries all over the country.
So does that mean like you say, okay, I'm going to try and submit an application or whatever the right term is, or samples of my work to 20 galleries this year, or do you sort of?
It's more. What I do is, my goal is first to build a series that I then can shop to a gallery.
Nice.
And that's been the most successful way that I've. So first I go to try to focus on a series that I'm going to do, whether it's animals or something new, or gods and goddesses. I get that built and then I float it to the galleries.
So for a typical series, is that like 4 or 8, or do you have a...
Series is whatever, however many you want to do. 2 is a series. 2 to infinity.
2 to infinity?
I have a series that is infinite. I had a sex workers series. It's become infinite because I ended up giving them to the sex workers.
Oh, wow.
But it was a way to tell their story. So I would record their story and then have them paint their painting of them, and then the show will be them and their story. You know what I mean? That's the concept, but keep giving the paintings away. So.
Wow. You have Instagram and a website. If people want to follow you or learn more about you, or where you got things showing, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can catch all my art at 4 by Brother Luck again. You can catch it wherever you find it. Right now I don't have anything, but my website is mujirieger.com. And my Instagram is muji.786, and my Facebook is Muji Rieger, and you can follow me and buy prints on my website.
Do you sell prints, did you say?
Yeah.
So some of this beautiful artwork, you can have a print made and people could buy that.
Yes.
Very good. Do you have other merchandise for sale?
Just prints and paintings.
No Muji Rieger t-shirts?
Nope. No, I can't, because there's a Japanese company called Muji, so they've copyrighted all the Mujis.
Oh no, that's
right?
not right.
Those copyright laws, I think, are kind of too strict.
I think so too. Well, thank you for this episode, and you've agreed to do another episode with us. We're really excited about that and showing more of your artwork. In the meantime, we'll see everyone next week. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon so you know when we've uploaded another episode. Good night.